morning, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with a Kick. I'm feeling just 100 with a T, feeling super good. Almost as good as my picks this past week were bad, it turns out. Neither of us did particularly well, going, 3-7 for myself and 4-6 for you. Took me down to 500 on the season. 50-50 so far. 100 matches already. Can you believe it? Wow.
Yeah, it was a shocking weekend.
A lot of results that obviously we didn't expect. Why don't we just go ahead and just give a nice Greg Louganis dive right into it. After you hit that like button. After you hit that subscribe button. After you leave a comment saying which result surprised you the most this weekend. Let us know in the comments below. I might have a hot take on that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, we'll start off with Fulham and Manchester United, which we both got wrong because we didn't think that Man U would show up.
And they didn't until the 90+1.
Yeah, in the end, it was it wasn't a very good match for United. But like you've said time and again, Manchester United just so happens to get these points when they get them. It was really a pretty sloppy goal, and the goalkeeper should have really done better there for Fulham. I thought that he could have definitely gotten in there and made a save on it, because I didn't think that the shot was that great after all. And truly, this could have gone a totally different way. Fulham had a lot of pressure there in the 60th minute, where I thought Fulham was going to pull ahead and put a lot of pressure on United, but they just don't have it in the final third, and that's kind of been the tale of their season when they've lost.
Yeah, I mean, when you sell your best striker to Saudi Arabia and you don't replace him, it can be very hard to score goals. So, I don't know, like I said, Man U squeaking by again. I don't know what's going to happen during the week or on this upcoming weekend, but I hope that they lose.
Well, I mean, the people already know what we think. We both have. Do we both have United losing? Hold on, where are they? No, I have United beating Copenhagen. You have them losing to Copenhagen in the midweek. We'll see. Ten Hag kind of got himself a little bit more of a leash here, getting the goal, getting the win against that. I mean, they had a good opportunity there early in the match, but VAR did disallow it for an offsides, real tight offsides. I mean, VAR was working double time this week, and not always to the proper results, as I will have a very large grievance once again with VAR here during my Wolves match recap, but we'll get to that in a moment. First on to better, greener pastures. Brentford hosting West Ham United. I got this one right, and you did not. I almost even got the scoreline right. I had 4-2. Ends up being 3-2. Brentford over West Ham. A pretty exciting match overall, I thought. Brentford's first goal was really scrappy. It was not a very pretty goal by any means. But, when you get it in, you get it in. And they will count those for you.
Yeah, it was, first half, exciting first 26 minutes. And then Brentford kind of just did what they want to do and kind of not really possessed it a lot, but get some good counters going. And, yeah, they pulled away with the victory. Yeah,
the Mohamed Kudus kid had a great match for West Ham, I thought. His first goal there in the 19th minute was that very impressive scissor kick, half volley sort of goal from the far side of the box, back where it came from. Great goal there. And then he set up Jared Bowen in the 26th for the second goal for West Ham. I felt like Brentford made a point of emphasis to kind of take him out of the second half. Didn't see as much clean possession of the ball. And it it was a good result for Brentford. I mean, they got lucky with the own goal there by Mavropanos in the 55th in the second half. But they did control the match a pretty good bit there in the second half. Even still, West Ham had a very good chance there late on in the 87th to try to claw back a point, but it just wasn't to be so on match day 11.
Yeah, I mean, this was a big one. Brentford leapfrogs West in the standings now, and Brentford's in the top 10. So how that momentum carries them, we'll see.
We will definitely see. Moving on from that to Burnley and Crystal Palace. This one went how we both thought it would, in that they won. But Burnley was in it for the most part, most of this match. It's once again, like, you've talked about it before, and it's really true that Burnley, they can possess the ball pretty well, but they just cannot convert anything in front of the goal mouth. They can't do anything.
Yeah, if you look at the match stats, it appears that they dominated the entire game, and then they lose 2-0. When I looked at the stats, I didn't actually think they had that much possession, that many shots on target. It just didn't feel like they were doing anything purposeful.
No, a lot of them were easily handled by the goalkeeper. I will say that Crystal Palace's first goal there, Jordan Ayew embarrassed. What's his name? Bayer there for Burnley. Got him turned around, fell down on the ground, and a great ball across by Ayew for Schlupp to put it in. Crystal Palace did deserve the win. Burnley, they just don't have the pieces. I think that it comes down to that. They just don't have the pieces to compete up here. This makes them, I heard this stat and I was like, that's, anytime you're the first ever in top flight football to do something in England, I mean, it may be it may rest in ignominy. Ignominious? How do you say that word? That word that I'm trying to say. A day that will live in infamy. Burnley is now the first side in top flight English soccer history, going back all 125, even prior to the Premier League, to lose their first 6 home matches. They've lost 6 in a row at home from the start of the season. First team to ever do that. And I don't know that they'll win the 7th. I don't think so. I mean, I'll have to check who it is, but I would only put them up against, if it's Sheffield or Lutontown, maybe. Even though Lutontown, we'll get to them in a second, not so bad maybe. Sheffield, maybe not so well. Listen, we'll get to that's me grumbling about the Sheffield United Wolves match. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, it's Burnley not good. Staring relegation right in the face. We move on to Everton and Brighton Hove Albion. This one didn't go how I thought. Not at all. 1-1 draw.
Brighton, I don't know. The fact that they even got a point was pretty shocking. It's sad that Ashley Young had to be on the recipient end of an own goal.
Yeah.
But really, like, me watching this match, besides the possession numbers, it felt like Everton was the better team. And once they got the first goal, they were pretty okay with just kind of hanging back. Sean Dyche's defense.
To be fair, their goal in the 7th was a pretty lucky goal. I feel like that one was 9 times out of 10 that doesn't happen. Where the ball, the deflected ball just falls right back in front of you, get another crank at it.
But they got it.
And then, savior for Brighton, time and again, Matoma. It was a lucky own goal. I'll give you that. It was not going to be anywhere near the goal. But, it was a little bit of karmic payback for the silliness of the first goal there in the 7th minute. Dunk had some really good opportunities there in the meantime, but his great set piece was disallowed by a VAR offsides call. And then he almost did it again, but a great save by Everton's keeper. Is that good old boy? What's his face? Yeah, Jordan Pickford. Yeah, great save by him in the 55th to keep them from drawing level at the time. But yeah, I mean, good for Everton looking like the better side, Brighton, I don't know what you guys are doing. Get it together. You're supposed to be good. Anyways, we'll move down to one that went exactly as we thought it would. Manchester City and Bournemouth. Really, I mean, what can you say about this one? It never looked like it was anything at all besides just a Manchester City thrashing.
Yeah, I didn't love how they made a sub, and 90 seconds later, he throws one in the back of the net. That made me a little nervous, but we ended up getting a couple more there at the end. Yeah, the first 30 minutes, honestly, it was not close. It was more of when is Man City going to score?
Yeah.
Not like, oh, Bournemouth's playing so well. I think we had like 95% possession in the first 25 minutes, which is pretty wild. So, yeah, this one, I think it was a long overdue Man City victory by this margin.
Yeah, some stats that I saw that were quite interesting was Manchester City has not started back-to-back identical 11 in 18 months. Pep, you little tinkerer. And Bournemouth has never beaten Manchester City in 18 Premier League contests. So
yeah, I think we had won every single one. Like, it wasn't even like a draw. It was.
In 18, all of them. I don't know. I didn't look. You are unbeaten in 18.
Won at least the last like 15 in a row, like just outright wins.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked that Bournemouth has stayed up that long. Is much more shocking. Yeah, I mean, Doku's looked great in this one. Was all over the pitch. Really, he could have one of the goals. The goal that bounced off of who was that? Was that
Akanji's back?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a silly goal off of Akanji's back.
Great assist, though. It's a great way to use your own teammates' back to score it.
Yeah, and then Bournemouth did get a little bit of a consolation goal there in the 74th minute, just because City didn't really care at that point. And then so we both get that one right. And then we go to Sheffield United and my Wolves, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Listen, 2-1 loss to Sheffield United for their first victory of the season. And that we lose more points, another point, off of relatively garbage VAR in stoppage time to give them a PK is really irksome. I mean, I don't know, did you see that breakdown?
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I think it was harsh. Especially that late in the match.
And he was on his way down. It was already going to be a light penalty. He was already on his way down. It felt like a 1-1 match. I mean, Sheffield United didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve it. That's what I think.
If there was ever a match besides the Man U match where I thought match fixing could be at play, it was probably that, because they had kind of already gone over.
Oh, yeah. Because of the VAR that almost got us on a previous one in the 94th minute, but, that one didn't go against us, so I couldn't be too mad about that.
I don't know. Yeah, it should have been 1-1. I think Wolves should have pulled it out even sooner than that.
I mean,
but
fair enough.
They should have lost 2-1. It should have been 1-1.
Should have been 1-1. Yeah, I mean, we could have very easily gone up in the 31st minute, and that would have changed the whole match. We wasted an opportunity there, but in the end, listen, there's only so much you can do. It was our first match without
VAR has cost you.
Listen, we'll see if we get another set of referees demoted from Premier League, because it's already happened to us. I think twice already that we've had guys go against us that have been demoted after that. So we'll see if we can get one of those again. Crossing my fingers for it. Moving on to, a real snoozer here. Real snoozer. Newcastle hosting Arsenal. Whew. I mean,
I will say the first 25 minutes of this one was probably the most exciting 0-0 game I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just seemed like both teams got tired. And they were just kind of like, when we get the ball, we'll try. When you get the ball, you try. But not a ton of pressing after the 25th minute.
No, and even the goal that did happen for Newcastle, it was not pretty by Anthony Gordon. It was a real sloppy, scrappy goal. Ball dribbles out to the far edge, gets reviewed for like 7 hours because it may have gone offside. There may have been an offside. It may have gone out of bounds. It may have been an offside. And then there may have been a foul as well or something. There's so much going on, and it wasn't worth it. I mean, it was not that good of a goal.
Yeah.
And even still, Arsenal had a good chance. Just before Newcastle actually scored. They had a really good chance, but they wasted it. Like a lot of no one had that much going on really in the match. It was strange.
Yeah, one shot on target for Arsenal, very uncharacteristic. And like I said in last night's episode, I think it's going to carry over. They're going to have a little bit of a hangover from the loss, and they're going to start to loosen up some play a little bit.
Well, I mean, I'm sure City loves to see it. Speaking of, are we there yet? No, not yet. Nottingham Forest, as we all know, took down Aston Villa 2-0, because of course they did. And actually, like, they deserved it. They looked good.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a weird one because obviously Aston Villa and Brighton, they're kind of playing at each other to see who can be the worst team that can also blow teams out.
Yeah.
Because this game, I would have thought, man, it's probably going to be 4-1. I mean, I predicted it being an Aston Villa comfortable win. And yet, Nottingham Forest, I think, dominated the game. Like, again, similar to Everton. Once they got the first goal, they were cool to sit back, play their counter-attacking game. Then once they got the second, they were like, we're good. We don't need to attack ever again.
I mean, and to be fair, I mean, both of their goals were crackers, man. They were great. That strike from their defender, Aina, there from what was it, 25 yards or something, a low laser beam, beat the keeper.
That was pretty good.
That one was great. And, then the 46th minute, or 47th minute, Mangala, excuse my snottiness, Mangala's goal, the goalkeeper saves it, but it jumps over his hand and then falls in the back of the net. So, great job on both of those. And really, they weren't really even tested that much against Villa. Strange. The theme of this weekend was a lot of just like strange people not playing to their typical potentials. I mean, Villa had 73% possession and only 3 shots on goal the whole match.
Yeah. Yeah, it was uncharacteristic and also kind of weird because you think there were several matchups where I thought, okay, guaranteed 3 points for some of these top 10 guys.
Yeah, we're about to get to one.
Most of them did not get 3 points.
No. Speaking of, Lutontown draws Liverpool 1-1. And again, like deservedly so. Like nothing happened in this match for a long time. Lutontown scores in this 80th minute, just a crazy counterattack that catches Liverpool totally off guard and an easy put in. And then, to be fair, listen, it was 90 plus 5, whatever. They got a bunch of extra stoppage time in this one. But it was a good goal by Luis Diaz. I mean, it was a nice ball in by Elliott. Lofted to the back. It was good. I mean, it was a boring enough match that you're like, draw, whatever. At least they scored some. At least, taking the one thing that I've liked taking is the plus 1.5 goals combined total goals, because you can usually get that at pretty good money, and like those hit a lot, like a lot. Those hit a lot. Not this weekend, obviously, because I started taking them. But still.
It always works that way.
It always works that way. Like, yes, I can see the pattern emerging. I can see it. Oh no. And then really we finish off the week yesterday with probably the strangest match of them all. Tottenham and Chelsea. You look at the scoreline, you're like, wow, good job, Chelsea. You watch the match, like 4-1 does not tell the tale. Spurs were playing with 9 men. 9 men! against a full-sided Chelsea team from the 55th minute on. And Chelsea didn't score. Those 20 minutes were some brave defending by their goalkeeper, by the Spurs goalkeeper. And they really did a good job. And even then, like after the 75th minute goal, like, okay, well now they turned on the Jets, right? Everything happened at that point. No, Spurs had multiple chances to maybe draw level. Like, they were still trying. And it was only after the goal in the 90th minute did things really start to unravel there for Spurs. But at that point, you can understand it, right? You've been playing with 9 men for 30 minutes at that point. You're tired.
Yeah, this one, like you said, first like 20 to 30 minutes, Tottenham was hot.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they'd probably go up 2-0, and then they get that first red card.
A lot of Son just half a step up sides, like 3 different times that he could have scored.
Yeah, it was, like you said, the game played as if Tottenham still probably should have won. But the 90 plus 4 and 90 plus 7, 2 goals. I mean, I don't even know if it was 2-1. I think it should have ended at least in a draw. But Chelsea converted and Tottenham didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it was. It's odd to feel disappointed by a 4-1 victory, you know? But like Chelsea didn't look that much better than a 9-man Spurs team. So there's that to consider.
Yeah, Todd Bowley, he'll just say it was a grind out, you know.
I mean, it was a grind out, sure, but like Spurs almost drew level multiple times there after the second goal, and they were unlucky not to. In the end, you know, it's still Tottenham. Tottenham drops down. I think this puts City up in first, right? They're solo top of the table.
Low in first.
So that is, yep. 1 point clear of Tottenham Hotspur. Liverpool suddenly in third after having a pretty dreary start to the season. Villa are still holding in fifth. You know, it's tight up there, you know? 1 weekend change and we could get Villa up in third.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these teams continue, because we saw the likes of Brighton start off hot. They're kind of reeling now. So
yeah, regressing to the mean a little bit.
Who knows?
We'll see. Let's see. Yeah. And then bottom of the table, there's like 4 teams that are in contest. I think that those 4, Luton, Bournemouth, Burnley, and Sheffield, will be the ones in contention for the bottom. We'll just see who ends up down there. Because Everton, I mean, they've had some pretty decent matches with bad results, is what's come down to for Everton. Like they were unlucky this week to not win. I think it was week 1 they should have beat Fulham, but they didn't. But we'll see here as we move along down the road. I don't know what that's from. I don't know what that's from at all. Anyway, you got anything else to say before we go?
No, I mean, excited to see what match week 12 holds, because I think this is the last one before the last international break, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh. And, you know, maybe we'll take that at... Nope, not quite. We just need to get to match week 13 before we're a third of the way through.
We'll get there.
We'll get there eventually. Well, in the meantime, why don't you go ahead, check out our... I know that you're all still there. So why don't you go ahead and check out this episode right here. Hold on. Right here. For our predictions for later today. For Champions League action. And go ahead and grab your coffee. Watch some soccer. And we'll see you on Thursday evening. For a match week predictions. Anyway. Arrivederci. It's not Italian.